Ladies and gentlemen, this is your everyday average home scented candle. Some smell pretty damn good, others not so. But what if I told you that by simply snuffing out that candle of yours, I can save you hundreds of thousands of dollars in damages to your home? Let me explain. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. First of all, I appreciate you guys coming on back. I want to share something with you guys that has recently happened to us at our home, and it's also a very common thing in almost every household in America. Everybody, or at least most people, have scented candles, but you would be surprised on how much money that these things would actually cost you in the end simply by just lighting it. You know, I know they come in handy sometimes whenever there's a power outage. I got that. And if your house doesn't smell all that great, they work. Given, I mean, you put 3 or 4 of them in the house, light them, you're good to go. The smell is good. But what's really bad about these things is if you'll look close around the edge, see it's black? Okay. Most of y'all already know what that is. All right. For those who have no idea, it's called soot. Okay. Basically, it's what's left behind after you burn stuff. It's charcoal kind of thing. But it's soot, and it floats around in the air. You breathe it. It gets clogged up in your air filter in your home. Now, you're probably wondering, why am I covering something like this on the SV Cruiser channel? Well, allow me to show you right now. All right, so basically what I'm going to be covering today is what has happened around my house. We've decided basically to start doing some construction around the home and kind of do a little bit of upgrades because it's needed. Now, the purpose of this video is to educate. Okay, my purpose is to educate you on how to basically take care of your home. Not many people know what I'm about to tell you or explain. So please try to follow me. At least try. All right. I've been working for an air conditioning company for 8 years to the day today. Makes 8 years. And I've seen a little bit of everything. I know what has happened to my house could have happened. I didn't expect it to happen, but it did. So let me explain. The reason why I'm pointing out the candle issue is exactly this. If you notice, we got damage in our ceiling. Okay, it's a sheetrock damage. And what this is caused from is directly above me right here is my air conditioning system. It's the evaporator coil and the plenum and my furnace, right? Well, actually my evaporator coil is here and my furnace is right here. All right, so what ended up happening is what you're seeing is water filled up and overflowed from the secondary emergency drain pan, dripped over, went through the floor up there into my ceiling, through the sheetrock, and dripped water down. Now you're probably wondering, why is my wall bare and there's no TV? Well, water and electronics don't exactly mix, guys. So the water was coming down here. You can see it dripping. So this sheetrock is going to have to be repaired. This sheetrock is going to have to be repaired as well. This was the backup of the water from my primary coil, and that was from the furnace. It actually the water backed up into the furnace because of what I'm about to tell you. Your candle puts out soot. The soot floats through the air, and as it floats, it finds its way back into your return air. Okay, air floats around and it gets sucked back in here into the system like a vacuum cleaner. Well, whenever that soot goes up in there, it actually starts clogging up the air filter. But that's not the only thing that it affects. All right, so if you ever go into a home, look at the hinges. If you see little black marks, little black dashes and stuff, see that right there? That's soot, guys. That's soot. That's from candles. So if you close this door, right, the air is also coming into this room. So it either goes under the door or it finds its way through these cracks. It passes around the door. Well, whenever it does, it has that obstacle right in the way. In this case, your hinge. This catches soot. Now, same thing with your doors. Let me show you. All right, same thing with this door. I mean, candle, soot flying this way. It hits the door and it has to go around it. So it's going around my door. It's also in the hinges. But you can also tell down here in the carpet. All right, air has to pass under the door, and the carpet literally kind of acts like a comb or a filter. If you'll see a black line right there. It's hard to tell from up close, but see? My puppy's in there. She's freaking out. That's crap. I'm just gonna leave it open. Okay, so anyway, that's what happens with the soot. That's another problem. Now, let me show you what happens upstairs. All right, and then I'll hop into the next project here. All right, up here, I've already brought down the ladder. So let's go upstairs. Let's ascend. All this stuff is brand new, okay? Because we had to replace it. We were forced to replace it. The system was actually an R22 system, and R22 is actually being phased out. I'm not going to get into that. If you want to know what it is, our refrigerant R22, Google it. Anyway, the problem is, whenever you light your candles, it puts off soot. Soot floats through the air and gets sucked up into the return. In this case, it gets sucked up into that thing right there. That's the return. Particles float through here, see this big tubing, and it ends up down there. And the soot goes through the return, and there's a filter right there. Okay, let me show you the filter really fast. It's this. That's the airflow. All right. This is what they call a media filter. All right, inside your media filter, see all that soot and dust? It's kind of a blend of the two. All right, see, that's a dirty filter. We're gonna have to change that, but we got some construction going on in the house right now, so we're not gonna change this until after the construction is done. So what ends up happening is the particles of soot make it through this filter and past the furnace and into the into the evap coil. Evap coil, well, it's metal fins, and all of those little particles rest on this metal fins, and water accumulates inside this evaporator coil. The water droplets will drip down into a primary drain pan, as you can see here. See a little white PVC? Yeah. So what that ends up doing is any water that drips into here, I'm sorry, there's another one that's inside here, and it's this right here. This one. All right. Right here. This one. So my light sucks. So water from the primary drain goes through this tube to this P-trap or plumber drain, and this goes into the bathroom. Well, what happens over time is those particles find their way down here, they come down here, and they rest, and they start clogging up like clogged arteries, pretty much. If you don't blow it out, if you don't clean it from here, it's basic maintenance. If you don't do that, it'll block it completely so the water can't get out here. So then the water backs up, fills up inside here, and then it goes into this other white PVC pipe, into this pan here, this. So that's the emergency drain pan. That's a last ditch effort. So the water will travel through here, into this pipe, and then out to the side of the house. Well, for this system. Now, what happened before was the same thing with the P-trap. It clogged up. But then the secondary clogged up, and then the water started backing up into our furnace. Yeah. So when the water backed up into the furnace, it found its way to the other side of the unit and dripping water over there. And that's why you saw water in the sheetrock over there. All because of soot. So that basically, that narrows it down. But anyway, the soot flies up into this, into the return, gets sucked up into the system. And what it also does, let's turn that off, is it goes past the coils and it can clog up your primary drain pan, or your drain hose itself. Now your primary drain can either be clogged by any debris, rust, algae. Believe it or not, it can be because it's a dark area, it's a moist area. It's going to develop algae. Underneath, like your sink, they have a hose. I don't know if you can see it. It's a black rubber hose. This thing right here. This goes directly to the AC system, and then it goes into your. You'll find it on either master bathroom sink, or it'll be like on a kitchen sink. But this is from the primary coil. This drains the water from the coil directly into the sewer system, so that it doesn't leak out the side of the house. Well, if that clogs up upstairs in the attic, well, it's got nowhere else to go. So then it backs up and it fills into the secondary drain pan, that pan that I just showed you guys. And then whenever that fills up, well, it has nowhere else to go except into your sheetrock. You see what I mean? So by a simple candle, putting soot into the air, flying around and getting sucked up into your return, goes through the system. You can barely see it up in there. But anyway, it gets clogged up into the coils, gets clogged up into what they call plumber drain or a P-trap. And whenever that gets clogged, then you're asking for a bunch of problems, and then you run into this issue. You get water backing up through your system into the sheetrock, and this will start costing you thousands of dollars in damage. The new AC system, because it was rusted, ours was R22, so therefore it was phased out. R22 is a refrigerant that is phased out as of 2020, according to the Montreal Protocol. But we had to replace the system because it was like 15 years old. That's a good run for a system like that. It's a good run. But it is time to upgrade, and it costed us, I think my mom said $4,800. So basically $5,000 just for a new air conditioning system, mostly because of the soot. And then on top of that, we're having to fix the sheetrock up here, and that's going to be like another $300 or $400, just depending on the extent of the damage. I've seen homes where the entire ceiling has literally gotten so saturated that it has fallen, and that's causing the builders thousands and thousands of dollars in damage. So that basically wraps up this part of the video of why candles can cause you so much trouble. I mean, if you guys burn candles at home, put them out, okay? If you want to save yourself a lot of trouble down the road, put your candles out. Go to like Earthbounds or something and get like oil burners. Say, my mom, she finally took my word for it. She got oil burners. Oil burner here. She got herself an oil burner back there. And then like all the ones, these little things, the oil burner things for Febreze. Oh, hang on. Yeah, sorry. For the Febreze, these are okay. So there's another one over there on the wall. So my mom is no longer a candle burner. She is an oil burner customer. So yeah, that's basically what she's done. So save yourself a lot of headache, a lot of trouble. Get rid of the candles, put them out, switch over to oil, and you won't have this issue. Okay. Now I'm not saying like your system's not gonna, this is a permanent fix for any system. No, you're gonna have to have your average customer maintenance. Okay, you gotta maintain your AC system. All right, and what I mean by that is, make sure that your system's working perfectly. You want to get like either a fall or a spring checkup. It's okay. You want to contact one of your local HVAC certified technicians or a company that will do that for you, or the person who you are under contract with. You might want to double check to see who your contractor is. If your builder, just contact your builder. And if you don't have one, contact a company that can do it. But preventative maintenance. This is a big one. Make sure your coils are clean. Make sure all electronics in the attic, in the system, are working great. All the wires have got good connections. Nothing's going to burn out. Doesn't look burnt. Doesn't look loose. The charge should be good. Just have it checked by a professional. Don't try to do it on your own. Have a professional do it. And if they do it right and everything's fine, you won't run into this problem. So I'm not saying we didn't do it right, but other things can contribute to this, such as if the secondary backs up, which would be if you go outside your home and you look along the edge of your house, you see a white PVC pipe that's sticking out. And if there's water dripping, you got a problem. You need to address it. What happens with that is the algae builds up inside that little PVC pipe, and it starts to, close it up like plaque, in an artery, and eventually it'll close it up and water can't pass through, water backs up, and then you get this. So again, preventative maintenance, contact your local HVAC service technician or an AC company to have them check it out. If your system is working fine, leave it alone. Just leave it alone. I'm going to leave it off with this. If you guys have a contractor or if you have a builder, contact your builder. See if they have a schedule for like in this case would be a fall checkup. Check your system. Make sure it's all running good. Make sure the coils are clean. Make sure the refrigerant charge is good. Make sure everything is just pristine. Make sure it's operating correctly. Otherwise, you could be running into some expensive problems. I'm just trying to help you guys out. So I know this wasn't a motor vlog. I know this wasn't, me building anything out in the garage like I usually do. But, this is life, guys. I mean, even though I may not be on the bike, it's life. It's going to happen. So if you guys found anything in this video informative or helpful, please like, share, comment, and subscribe, or even just subscribe just because you watched the video. Who knows? Or for no reason at all. Yeah. Please feel free to also check out my Teespring page. The link will be down below, or I think it's at the end of this video. And then also my Patreon page. Please feel free to check that out too. So once again, I appreciate you guys stopping by and checking this out. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.